My wife's boyfriend, a cop, pulled me over. The red and blue lights bled into my rearview mirror. The siren didn't scream, it whispered. A slow, deliberate wail, almost smug. I pulled the car to the shoulder, my hand steady on the wheel, though my chest felt like a locked vault straining against the pressure. Beside me, Zara adjusted her hair in the passenger side mirror. Not fear, not surprise, just vanity. The cop approached, boots striking asphalt like a metronome. When he leaned down to my window, I recognized his face instantly. Not from the uniform, from her phone. She had shown me a picture once. "He's just a friend. He helps me feel safe when you're away." I had laughed it off. A soldier trusting his wife more than the shadows around her. But now the shadow stood inches from my face. He smirked, resting his hand on his holster as though it were casual. "Step out of the car, soldier. I'm taking your car, your house, and your wife." The words were not a threat, they were a claim. And then Zara's voice cut through me sharper than any blade. "Honey," she laughed, tilting her head toward him, "this coward soldier might pee his pants if you threaten him. He has no idea who I really am." I didn't move, didn't blink. I let the silence fill the car like smoke. He reached for the cuffs. That was the moment I knew. The air tasted like iron. My pulse didn't race, it slowed, calculated, cold. His hand brushed my wrist, but I didn't resist. Not then. Resisting would give him what he wanted. Panic, rage, a fight he could win. I only looked at Zara. Her eyes didn't meet mine. She stared straight ahead, lips curled in amusement, as if the entire scene were some cruel joke only she understood. Infidelity is not always found in lipstick stains or late-night texts. Sometimes it is in the way a woman refuses to look at her husband when another man stands close enough to breathe his air. I didn't ask questions. Questions would make me the fool. I simply filed away the pieces. The shift in her behavior months ago, her late yoga classes, her sudden disdain for the army, for me. The betrayal wasn't fresh, it was just unmasked. When the cop tightened the cuff around my wrist, I let him. My silence was my armor. The louder they laughed, the more I disappeared into myself. I understood then, the war wasn't in deserts or jungles anymore. The war was here, in the front seat of my own car, and I would not lose. They released me that night, no charges, just humiliation, a warning, stay out of the way. Zara pretended nothing happened. She cooked dinner the next evening, humming softly. She kissed me goodnight. But I saw the glow of her phone beneath the blanket, the way she tilted it away from me. I became a ghost in my own home, watching, collecting, phone bills, location logs, quiet screenshots of messages when she left the device unattended for seconds too long. She thought I was blind. That's the arrogance of betrayal. It convinces the liar they are smarter than the loyal. The cop's name appeared often. "Patrol shift done, baby. Miss your lips. Can't wait till you're mine completely." Mine completely. The words coiled around my spine like barbed wire. I didn't confront. I observed. When she claimed she was meeting friends, I followed from 2 blocks away. Always at night, windows cracked, headlights dimmed. They met in quiet places, parking lots, motels. His hand on her back as though I had never existed. But I didn't cry, I didn't rage. I wrote everything down. Dates, times, proof. I was trained to wait for the right strike, and this was no different. The evidence was undeniable. Phone logs, photos, hotel receipts under false names. Even the clinic visit, the one where she asked about fertility treatments. Except the child wouldn't be mine. I arranged the papers in a neat stack, each page a weapon sharper than steel. That night, I sat across from her at the kitchen table, my voice calm, almost bored. "Zara, how long have you been sleeping with him?" The fork froze halfway to her lips, her face drained of color. Shock, guilt, fear, they all fought for dominance across her features. I don't know what you're talking about. I slid the stack toward her. Photos, messages, the clinic receipt on top. Her hands trembled as she flipped through them, her breath shallow. She wanted to cry, to beg, but the weight of my silence left her pinned in place. For the first time, she saw me not as a fool, but as something far worse. Someone who knew everything. I leaned back. Say nothing. I've already heard enough. The next day, I made my move. I requested a private meeting with his precinct commander. Evidence in hand. Everything neatly documented. Dates, times, abuse of power, the traffic stop, the threats. I didn't raise my voice. I simply handed over the truth. The kind that ruins reputations, strips badges, dismantles lives. By evening, his world collapsed. Suspension. Internal investigation. His smug grin replaced by panic. At home, Zara waited, wide-eyed, broken. "Please, we can fix this." I cut her off with a single glance. "Fix?" I whispered. "You broke what can't be rebuilt." I left her standing there, drowning in her own silence. The walls of the house we shared suddenly foreign, poisoned by her betrayal. I didn't scream, didn't curse. I didn't even take revenge in the way movies would demand. I walked away with calm steps, each one deliberate, final. I had lost a wife, yes, but she had lost far more. Her safety, her lover, her illusion of control. When soldiers lose wars, they bury their dead and move on. But when liars lose, they live inside the graves they dug themselves. I no longer belonged to her world. I had stepped outside of it. The last time I saw her, she tried to speak, but I closed the door before the words could escape her lips. The silence was my victory. And silence, I realized, is louder than any scream.